normally I would have EKG once a month. You know, a lot of you were a part when it was the last Saturday of each month. Well, the Lord told me to have it whenever I felt the heartbeat of EKG. So there you keep it from being religious. You keep things from being predictable or whatever the case is. Well, I felt this steady heartbeat. And when I woke up last week and the Lord said to have EKG and to deal with the 7 mountains, um, I knew it was going to become a weekly thing. So we're going to recap what we dealt with last week. I don't know how much I'm going to remember because not much was written down. Not much was caught on camera or video or whatever the case was. We just kind of started flowing. I didn't put it in the packet, but I do want you all to know where you can get this information from. This isn't something I just birthed out. This isn't something that's original. If you pull up the 7 mountains, the first 2 authors and trainers about the 7 mountains are 2 Caucasian guys. One is Lance Wall. No, what is his name? I think it's Lance Walno. It's hard to pronounce. Lance Walno. Walnau, I believe it is. The other guy is Johnny Enlow. So he started a training. He started a series. I think he's even written a book about the 7 mountains of God, the 7 mountains of influence. If you read Revelation 17 and 9, which we're going to deal with today, it speaks about the 7 mountains and 7 nations. Who was here last week that can remember, without looking at your paper, name the 7 mountains or name the mountains that you can remember? You should at least be able to name your own mountain. Okay?
First mountain is church / religion / kingdom. God, education, business, entertainment, media, and government.
Mm-hmm. Did you do family? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the 7 mountains. So, the way that the Lord is releasing this to me is because we have such information, we have such so much experience under the umbrella of the mountain of church, under the mountain of religion, but we have not done anything with the other mountains that we have access to or that affects our life. If you think about these 7 mountains, whether it be family, business, education, it's either something that we participate in or we operating in via school, via our jobs, or whatever. But what stresses us out, and this is a talk that I had with my boss. I kind of talked about that last week. We won't get started with that because I didn't get past the testimony. But one of the conversations I had with my boss, he's kind of discovering his prophet, or has discovered his prophet since we've been connected. And I said, you're stressed. It was like the Lord started speaking to me while I was sitting across the desk from him. And I said, you're stressed, sir, because you're trying to be 2 different people. And you're operating as 2 different entities. I said, the 2 are one. I said, the Lord called you into the prophetic. It's sort of your business, your corporate escort. And anybody that operates in the prophetic knows it's kind of, it's not a good thing to feel like you have a monopoly on other people because you're prophetic. But the prophetic just kind of makes life easy. It's an advantage, absolutely. Because you kind of get a heads up on stuff. The Bible says that God does nothing in the earth realm without first revealing it to his servants, the prophets. So we get a heads up, so to speak. Whether it's something that's going on your job, if you tapped in for real, you be like, all right, I need to start looking. Some crazy finna happen. You know, they finna either shut down a department. They finna start laying folks off. God kind of give you that unction. And so if we learn how to utilize the totality of what God has given us as believers, number one, let's X out just being a prophet. But if you have any kind of relationship with God, he's going to reveal things to you. He's going to unfold things to you. You got to learn to use that to your advantage. And we don't do that. We think all of our treasures all lie under the umbrella or under the mountain of church, under the mountain of religion. When it's time for increase, what we do, we go to church. We found a good revival. We found a good conference, baby. We hold on to a good steady pew. We put a dance on it. We sow a seed, and we wait for what? Our increase in our harvest. But when we don't see the increase, we looking crazy. Why? Because we have used the wrong mountain. And nobody has introduced us to all of our access, or nobody has introduced us to the portals of wealth. Oh, y'all want to get quiet down here. See, y'all, we should have stayed upstairs where we was packed in like a little hot church. That's how the saints do. As soon as you move into a good sanctuary, then y'all fool around and get quiet. But that's all right. I'm going to keep talking till y'all wake up on tonight. But I said something last week, and it hit my spirit again this morning. Every mountain has a dialect. Okay? Every mountain has a language. And we know the language of church, which is why most of us are locked out of the rest of the mountains. Because we try to take our religion into the wrong places. We come to work quickening and shaking and throwing oil and acting a fool. And now we out of order. And now they're ready to send us home. And now we failed in an assignment. We failed in an opportunity for branching into another mountain or into marketplace operation. I had no idea I was called or that I could even operate as a marketplace prophet. I had heard the term years ago, but I thought a marketplace prophet was somebody that was just really, really good in business or banking or whatever the case was, and you know, God would give them how to do a good presentation or something. I had no idea. But I found that being a marketplace prophet was that I'm the same person I am everywhere else I go. There's an operation of wisdom. I could not approach people that you know how we be like, oh, such and such came and asked for prayer. They ain't even know me. You know, we all excited because they done pulled on us. Girl, she ain't even know me, and she pulled me to the side and she asked for prayer, and the Lord let me get her a word. That's cute and that's good, but that's not the end thereof. A lot of times the Lord is introducing us by way of our gift, by way of what He's called us to do. Yes, to be pulled on. Sometimes our bosses ain't gonna admit it, but they see the gift and the calling on your life. They want you connected to them. They want you in their department just because you're called and just because you're anointed. But at that point, they start putting different responsibilities on you. So at that point, you got to understand there's another level of excellence that's required. Okay? There should be a sharpness to your presentation, to your performance level. And because we represent the kingdom, we have to do everything that we do well. We have to do everything that we do from an educated place. We can't come in and feel like we can talk any kind of way, act any kind of way under the guise of being called of the Lord. So the whole purpose of this series is to get you to understand where your treasures lie. Okay, I'm going to start calling on and pulling on some people. Brother Cameron is going to be ministering to us about education. Because what I need you to do is understand your passion. Discover your passion and work your mountain. Everybody say that. Discover your passion.
Discover your passion.
And work your mountain.
And work your mountain.
One of the things, I think is Deuteronomy 1:8, that talks about occupying until He comes. The Lord has placed treasures in us, abilities in us, skills in us that most people have not used or have not utilized. We come to church and we wait on somebody to identify our gifts, right? A good prophet come in, we kind of stand on the edge and hold one foot out in the aisle and kind of hope they notice us, and you look a little emotional so he can really get pulled to you, because they like emotional people. You understand? And you get a little tear to fall and you kind of hold your head back. He coming, trust. He's on his way to give you a word. And people are extremely hungry because they want to know what the Lord want me to do. I just don't know. I just feel something happening. I don't know, I just feel this calling on my life, and nobody really identified what I'm supposed to do. And so you waiting on the church to tell you everything.